Hello, greetings. This is Nicolas Polymenakos. I work and help out here for NORWAC, which is the Northwest Astrological Conference that's happening May 21st to May 25th, just outside of Seattle in person and also online. It's a hybrid conference. Today I'm with Bear River. Hi, Bear.
Hi, Nick. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, my friend. You and we've known each other for a while now.
Yeah,
And
you're the whole reason I got into astrology. I snuck
one,
into a NORWAC conference, true story. My first NORWAC conference, it's like, okay, well, I did my one day and I don't have a dinner pass, so I guess I'll just be going now. And you were like, hey, you, new person, come here. You introduced me to a bunch of folks, and then Carolyn Casey was like, hey, you, take this dinner ticket. Like,
Kid
that's how the
Carolyn,
whole
she's a
thing.
trickster. You ran into two tricksters.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I'm here.
Oh, that's right on there. Yeah, I for some reason that was the first time because I remember at the Washington State Astrological Association meetups, that's
Yeah.
where we see each other and stuff too. But oh, that's a great way to it's kind of funny, Norwalk. Everyone has their own interesting story with this conference, and this will be the 42nd one in a row.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So there's a lot of history there, a lot of friends and family and all that. That's happening again, May 21st and May 25th. Anybody watching, you can go to norwac.net to see the schedule, the speaker bios, the pre and post conference lectures. Everything is at norwac.net. Bear, you got two lectures.
Two.
Two.
Double
Two.
trouble.
Yeah,
Yep.
double trouble. You're coming in though. These strong lectures on Saturday, May 23rd, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Release the lots beyond
Yes.
fortune. I like this, beyond fortune and spirit. I'm going to read something here really quick.
All right.
You explain here zodiacal releasing is a technique which comes to us from Vitius Valens. I see the
Hmm.
book behind you there on the shelf right there.
Oh yeah, one and
Yes.
only.
Yep. He was an author who more than once leaves, quote unquote, something to the discrimination and judgment of his readers, supplying his students with a point of interest. So tell us a little bit about this, because typically when we hear about Zodiacal releasing, as people are into, we hear about releasing from Fortune and Spirit.
Hmm.
But here, what
Yeah.
are we talking about
So
here?
Valens talks about four lots. He gives us fortune and spirit, and throughout the text, he gives examples of fortune and spirit. But he names four, so we're also including necessity and eros. So right out the gate, and the one passage where Valens never uses the term zodiacal releasing really, but there's one section in book four where he's, as far as most of us these days can figure out, he's talking about CR right there, and he's mentioning releasing from these four lots. So I like to think about it, especially because book four, he's talking about distributions with planets. He's referencing distributions that have to do with the terms a little bit here and there. So we're distributing with planets, we're distributing with lots. And the way that he talks about distributing with planets, he has this little throwaway line where he basically says, and use Venus for marriage and childbirth, and use Mars for these matters of aggression, and the other planets as appropriate. This is a major paraphrase here, so please don't quote me exactly on that, but he tells us that we ought to use the planet that's topically relevant if we're going to release from the planets. He gives us four lots, but he also explains a little bit about the construction of the lots themselves, and I think since he often tells us, he'll even say things like the intelligent student will be able to figure out how this computation works and apply it to the other
Mm.
klima. So he's explicit in saying, I'm not giving you everything here. Here's an example. Here's the fundamentals. Dig into it, see for yourself. You'll find more. So I think that's what we're meant to do with the lots. And I'm a big Rufus Wainwright fan. He has an album called Release the Stars. And so I was thinking about
Oh,
what NORWAC talks, and this Rufus Wainwright song popped into my head and it was like, release the stars, release the lots. All right. I got
oh,
a good
got
good
it.
idea
Yeah.
coming through. Nice and strong from
Yeah.
spirit there. So we'll look at, I especially like the lot of works as Firmicus Maternus gives us, and my good friend and colleague Amy Green has done some really cool research with that lot, and I picked that up and combined it with Abu Mashar's lot of works, which is a different planetary pair. So if this is all sounding like Greek to you, that's about right, and I'll make it sound more like English in this lecture. What's going on with these lots, but
Mhm.
there's two in particular I think work together really well, and you kind of build off of what Valens tells you about fortune and spirit. And from there, you can look at a lot of other topics of life, not just your health and your general sense of
Mhm.
consciousness, spirituality. That's what you get with fortune and spirit. But lots of other stuff happens. People buy stuff. So let's look at the lot of assets. Uh,
Sure,
you know,
sure. All right, yeah, because it's interesting with NORWAC. We have a conference usually. We have different astrological thought and types of lectures from different areas of our world, our colleagues, and so I have a feeling you're going to have people who know some of this, and some people there or online who are going to jump in and go, "Hey," and I'm curious, Bear, where's your Mercury in your chart?
I have Mercury in Leo. Mercury is actually the first planet to rise after I was born, but I happen to be in a Mercury year. So if you're a perfection
Ah,
person, Mercury year will do it. I have Mercury rising in the solar return. So
yeah.
super mercurial topics, two topics. It'll be a fun one.
Yeah, the duality. Right on. Yeah. So again, that happens on Saturday, May 23rd. That will be your first lecture.
Yep.
Again, anybody here can go to norwac.net and you can see the schedule. And you can also see what time the lectures are and the explanations of the lecture, the copy,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. There's a lot more other things on the website, the registration, all the rates. Some people want to go one day, they want to go the full weekend. Some people
Mhm.
just want to pick a pre-conference lecture. You could do that at norwac.net. Saturday, next day on 1:45 p.m.
Sunday. Yep.
Pacific, or Sunday, thank you. Your first lecture is Saturday, the second one is on Sunday.
Mhm.
Uh, your lecture, this one's interesting. Image and Imprint, Living Reflections of the Stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
This one will be.
Visual languages we deal with inherently with astrology, correct?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. The very earliest astrology is literally these visual based elements. If we want to go way back to our friends in ancient Babylon, these ones are harder to see, but I got Francesca Rochberg and Erica Reiner over here with me. Our earliest inheritance of astrology comes from these astral omens that are visually based. And even some of the shapes of constellations, the myths that we get with these constellations go as far back as ancient Babylon, even dipping into ancient Sumeria. And as a very mixed person, I'm an Alaskan native and black and a whole lot of different types of European. And as I've been exploring all these different facets of my own inheritance and ancestry, I find that, my Alaskan Native ancestors have some similar thoughts as ancient Greeks about
Mhm.
our relationship to the stars. And so this one's a little bit more metaphysical, spiritual, you could maybe say, at least for me. I think for the audience, this is going to be much more relaxed. It's a Sunday lecture. It's a
Yeah.
beginner, approachable lecture. I'm just going to be talking about a couple of different people that I think are fascinating and how you can, by thinking visually about the sky, about the constellations, about the stars, you can get a little bit more juice out of the chart or some interesting interpretations out of the chart. And I hope that this lecture also accomplishes maybe a little bit of bridge building across the disparate traditions,
Yeah.
um, depending on whether or not we're thinking about calculated tropical positions or visual sidereal positions. Um, there's a number of different ways that we can think about what star your planets are connected to. And so I hope
Mhm.
to talk about that from a few different perspectives, but really keep this one more in the storytelling realm, image and imprint. These words have a little bit of a magical connotation too for folks who are into that stream of astrology and the Western esoteric tradition, especially this notion of imprinting talismans. And I really get the sense that, if I can be really metaphysical here, that we humans are literally a type of talisman. We get imprinted um, by the stars as diamonds. But maybe I've just been reading too much Plato and Timaeus and Aristotle and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, just on a basic astrological level, when we enter the world, we have that imprint too, the faded imprint there.
Yeah.
And then even if someone doesn't go to an astrology conference but they're into it a little bit, but it's like we just had a full moon this past weekend. It's Scorpio,
Mhm.
right? In the basics, somebody walks out, it's at night, they see the moon. And there's these common threads in humans, I think, throughout time. And now when we deal with our place in the universe and how we actually visually see the universe, and then when we look up what's beyond us and how it's reflected
Oh
back
yeah.
towards us, it's always been there, right? And
Yeah.
for those who just basically are looking up, and for those who study deeply, I think, the visual aspect, and I really like the image and imprint here, what you're saying, your lecture topic. So that's happening on Sunday,
Mhm.
1:45 p.m. Yeah, that's a good Sunday lecture. That's a good type of Sunday lecture, Bear.
Yeah.
Um,
So
the
much more thought behind a double talk, like
yeah,
speaking
yeah,
experience than just the one.
sure, sure. No, that's good. Everybody's coasting at that point at the conference, and online.
Yeah.
And speaking of online, for those who watching who don't know, the last so many years, for those who purchased the online pass, we do these Q&As that happen during the lecture or the conference weekend.
Hmm.
So in between the lecture tracks, it's like 40 minutes until the next one. But in that period of time, the speakers at the conference, they jump in Zoom rooms with everybody watching online, and we have these Q&As. And you're part of one, Bear. It's
Hmm.
going to be on Saturday, if I'm correct. Yes,
Yes.
on Saturday at 3:10 p.m. It is yourself, Janae Anthony, Ryan. No, did I get this right? Yeah, Ryan Butler,
Hey.
Stephen Forrest, Rebecca Gordon, and yourself. That's an interesting combination of people
Oh,
right there.
all right.
Yeah, and so myself, or either Samantha, who hosts online, or Laura Nabanian, who runs and hosts the conference and is also a speaker, we
All right.
facilitate that. It's all on the fly. People ask questions in the chat, and then throw you into the cauldron, the improvisational cauldron, Bear,
Yeah.
and we see
Yeah.
what
I
happens.
mean, it's like being in the hallways or,
Yeah,
in the big atrium. For those who've never been physically to NORWAC, at least all of my NORWAC experiences, it's always been in the same double tree, and it's got this cool thing where all of the rooms are along the outside perimeter. So all the way from the tippy top, you can see down and see all the people bustling about.
yeah.
And usually there's a lot of folks gathering in that area. It's Gemini season. It's a lot of energy bubbling up all over the
Yeah, we're
place.
talking the language with each other and stuff, and that kind of vibe is what we try to bring into the online part. So, hence the Q
Exactly.
and A's, hence the open house on Thursday that I'll be
It
a
does
part
have
of.
that feeling, yeah.
Yeah, I try to bring it there. So again, anyone who's interested, please join us in person. There's still tickets in person, a small amount of tickets left, and then there's
Mhm.
the online portion. For those online too, they get several weeks after the conference ends. Everybody who attends the conference gets
Yeah.
several weeks after it's done to watch all the videos. So it's a
Yeah.
pretty good deal. Bear, we're gonna do this again. It's gonna be great to see you in person, my friend.
Yes. Yes, it will.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
So
thanks so
until
much for having me.
then, you say that again?
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, no, Bears, you're intertwined there, and like a Pacific Northwest vibes and all this and whole
Yeah.
deal. So yeah, it'll be great to see you, my friend, and we'll catch up and talk. Okay.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
Hold you to
Thanks,
it.
everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. See you soon.